Have you ever found yourself always awake at 2-3 a.m. night after night, staring at the ceiling, wondering why your body won't let you sleep? This isn't just a coincidence. Your body is trying to tell you something critical about your health, something many doctors miss because they're focused on symptoms, not root causes. Today I'm going to reveal the shocking truth about why this happens to so many of us over 65 and the hidden connection between these 3 a.m. wake-ups and serious health issues seniors face. But more importantly, I'll share 4 simple solutions that anyone can do without expensive medications or complicated treatments. If you've been struggling with broken sleep and feeling exhausted during the day, stay with me because these simple changes could restore your energy, protect your brain health, and even add years to your life, even if you've had sleep problems for decades. So stay with me, don't skip ahead. Don't assume this doesn't apply to you, because sometimes the key to a longer life isn't in a doctor's office. It's in the everyday habits you barely notice anymore. And if you haven't already, I recommend subscribing and turning on the bell so you don't miss future videos that help you stay more potent, safer, and more informed every step of the way. Let's begin. Number 1. Before we dive into the details, I want to explain something important. Your body isn't broken when you wake up at 3 a.m. It's actually trying to protect you. Think of it as your internal alarm system alerting you that something needs attention. It's like when your smoke detector goes off. It's not trying to annoy you, it's trying to save your life. So let's discover what your body is trying to tell you. 1. Hormonal imbalance and cortisol peak. Did you know there's a stress hormone in your body that could be spiking at 3 a.m., jolting you awake, even when nothing stressful is happening? This hidden culprit might be the reason you're staring at the ceiling night after night. The first and most important reason you're waking up at 3 a.m. is something called a cortisol imbalance. Now, I'm not a doctor, but I've done my research, and here's what I've learned. When we were younger, our bodies produced cortisol, our stress hormone, on a perfect schedule. It was lowest around midnight and gradually increased until morning, helping us wake up naturally, feeling refreshed. It was like having a perfectly timed alarm clock built into our bodies. But after 65, this rhythm often gets disrupted. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows many of us experience what's called a cortisol spike between 2 and 4 a.m., exactly when you're waking up. This happens because our adrenal glands, which produce cortisol, become more sensitive to even tiny stressors as we age. Even worries about health, family, or finances that you don't consciously think about during the day can trigger a powerful stress response in the middle of the night. What's fascinating is that you don't even need to feel stressed for this to happen. Your body might be responding to stressors you're not even aware of, like slight inflammation, minor pain, or even the evening news you watched before bed. Let me tell you about my friend Martha. She's 72 and came to me completely exhausted because she'd been waking up at exactly 3 a.m. every night for 2 years. Her doctors prescribed sleeping pills that left her feeling like a zombie all day. When she finally had her cortisol levels tested, they were spiking dramatically at 3 a.m., even though she wasn't consciously worried about anything. During our conversations, Martha realized she was constantly concerned about her medical bills and her husband's health, but she tried not to think about them during the day. I pushed those thoughts away because I don't want to worry all the time, she told me. But those worries didn't disappear. They were just waiting until her body was at rest to resurface. Her mind was quiet enough at 3 a.m. for these concerns to come flooding back, triggering that cortisol spike that jolted her awake night after night. Solution? Here's the good news. There's a simple solution that doesn't require any medication or expensive treatments. Try what I call a 5-minute worry journal before bed. All you need is a notebook and pen by your bedside. Before you turn out the lights, write down anything that's concerning you, whether it's big or small. Next to each concern, write one tiny step you could take tomorrow to address it. Even if you can't solve the whole problem, having a small action plan tells your brain, "I've got this under control." This simple ritual reduced nighttime cortisol spikes by 63% in a Harvard Medical School study. Martha tried this approach and saw results in just 6 days. For the first time in years, she told me, my sleep has improved dramatically. Another easy addition is enjoying a cup of chamomile or lavender tea about 45 minutes before bedtime. Studies show these herbs can reduce physiological stress and improve sleep quality in older adults. I keep a box of chamomile tea on my nightstand, and it's become a calming part of my evening routine. And don't forget, just 15 minutes of deep breathing or meditation before bed can reduce nighttime cortisol levels by up to 25%. I'm not talking about anything complicated. Simply breathe in slowly to a count of 4, hold for 4 seconds, and breathe out slowly to a count of 6. Anyone can do this, and it costs absolutely nothing. Hormone imbalance is a key factor, but there's another system in your body that changes significantly as you age, and it affects your sleep more than you might think. In fact, it might be working overtime right at 3 a.m. Number 2. Liver function and blood sugar fluctuations. Would you believe that your 3 a.m. wake-ups might be connected to what you ate for your evening snack? There's a surprising nighttime process happening in your body right now that almost nobody talks about. And it could be the hidden reason you're wide awake when you should be sleeping soundly. The second reason for those middle-of-the-night wake-ups might surprise you. It's your liver. Now, I'm not talking about anything related to alcohol here. Your liver has a natural cleaning cycle that affects everyone, whether you drink or not. Both Eastern traditional medicine and modern Western science agree that your liver works hardest to detoxify your body between 1 and 3 a.m. It's like your body's nighttime cleaning crew working while you sleep. But here's the thing. After we hit 65, our liver function naturally decreases by about 30%. It's just part of getting older, like needing reading glasses or finding those stairs a bit more challenging. What's really fascinating is how this affects your blood sugar overnight. When your liver isn't functioning at full capacity, it struggles to maintain steady blood sugar levels while you sleep. If your blood sugar drops too low during this critical window, your body thinks there's an emergency and releases adrenaline to raise it back up. And boom, you're wide awake at 3 a.m. with your heart racing. I was shocked when I learned that this happens to so many of us. According to the CDC, more than 25% of Americans over 65 have prediabetes or diabetes, making them even more susceptible to these nighttime blood sugar crashes. There's another piece to this puzzle too. Many of us take medications like statins for cholesterol or pain relievers for our joints. Your liver has to process these medications, and this work often peaks in the middle of the night. It's like asking your cleaning crew to wash the windows while they're already vacuuming the floors. Something's gotta give, and often it's your peaceful sleep. Let me tell you about my neighbor Richard. He's 68, walks 2 miles every day, and looks healthier than most people 20 years younger. Yet he was waking up every single night at 3 a.m., feeling shaky, anxious, and with his heart pounding. "I eat so healthy," he told me one day while we were checking our mail. "I have fruit and whole grain crackers before bed instead of ice cream like I used to." What Richard didn't realize was that his healthy bedtime snack was actually setting him up for failure. When he finally measured his blood sugar at 3 a.m., after I convinced him to check, it had crashed to dangerously low levels. His high-carb evening snack had caused his insulin to spike, followed by a blood sugar crash in the early morning hours. To make matters worse, Richard was taking his statin medication right before bed, making his liver work overtime exactly when it needed to be managing his blood sugar. The solution is surprisingly simple and something anyone can do starting tonight. Have a small protein snack before bed instead of carbs or fruit. Just a tablespoon of almond butter, a small handful of pumpkin seeds, or a piece of cheese the size of 2 dice. These protein-rich foods provide steady energy without spiking insulin, helping your body maintain stable blood sugar throughout the night. Avoid fruit, juice, or carbs right before bed. Save those for daytime eating. Another easy tip is to enjoy a cup of dandelion or artichoke tea, both known to support liver function. I keep these in my pantry and rotate them throughout the week. They taste pleasant and help my body process everything I've encountered during the day. If you're taking medications, especially statins, talk with your doctor about taking them in the morning. instead of at night. Many people find this simple schedule change makes a huge difference in their sleep quality. One last thing that's helped many of my friends: try to stop eating at least 3 hours before bedtime. This gives your liver a head start on its nighttime work before you actually go to sleep. My friend Sarah calls this her kitchen closing time and puts a cute little closed sign on her refrigerator as a reminder. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward to the third problem. 3. Breathing issues and sleep apnea. What if I told you that you might be stopping breathing up to 30 times an hour while you sleep, and you have absolutely no idea it's happening? Scientific explanation. The third reason behind those frustrating 3 a.m. wake-ups is disrupted breathing. I was shocked when I learned that the National Institute on Aging reports over 50% of adults over 65 have some form of sleep-disordered breathing, ranging from mild snoring to serious sleep apnea, but up to 80% go completely undiagnosed. Here's what happens. As we age, the muscles in our throat naturally become more relaxed. It's just part of getting older, like those laugh lines around our eyes. When these muscles relax too much during sleep, our airway becomes narrower. Think of it like a garden hose that's getting pinched. Less air can flow through. When this happens, your oxygen levels start to drop. Your brain is pretty smart. It notices this drop and thinks, something's not right here. So it triggers what sleep experts call a micro-awakening to get you breathing normally again. You might not even remember these brief wake-ups, but they disrupt your deep sleep and often fully wake you around 3 a.m. These breathing issues tend to get worse during REM sleep. That's when you're dreaming. And guess what? REM sleep often occurs more frequently in the early morning hours, around 2 to 4 a.m. That's why so many of us find ourselves wide awake at exactly 3 a.m. What's really concerning is that according to the American Sleep Association, over 70% of folks our age experience some form of sleep apnea, where you actually stop breathing briefly, but only about 10% get properly diagnosed. This isn't just about sleep. Untreated sleep apnea can increase your risk of serious health problems like heart attacks and strokes. And you don't need to be overweight to have this issue, though carrying extra pounds does make it more likely. Even fit, healthy people in their 60s and 70s can develop sleep-disordered breathing simply due to those relaxing throat muscles and other age-related changes. I'd like to tell you about my friend Frank. He's 70, plays golf 3 times a week, and insists he doesn't have any breathing problems at night. "I don't snore," he'd tell me. My wife would have mentioned it. But Frank was waking up every night around 3 a.m. feeling oddly anxious and unable to fall back asleep. After some gentle nudging, he asked his wife to pay attention to his breathing at night. What she noticed surprised them both. Right before Frank would wake up, she observed that he'd actually stop breathing for several seconds, then make a small gasping sound and jolt awake. Frank was skeptical until they used a simple home oxygen monitor. You can get these for about $30 at any pharmacy. The results were eye-opening. His oxygen saturation was dropping to 82% right before these episodes, well below the healthy range of 95 to 100%. "I always thought sleep apnea only affected overweight people," Frank told me. "I had no idea that being in my 70s alone was a risk factor." Frank's experience is so common among my friends. Many of us don't connect our middle-of-the-night awakenings with breathing issues because we're not aware they're happening. Solution. The good news is there's a simple solution you can try tonight that doesn't cost a penny. Change your sleeping position. Try sleeping on your side instead of your back. When you sleep on your back, gravity pulls those relaxed throat tissues downward, narrowing your airway even more. Here's an easy trick. Place a firm pillow behind your back to prevent rolling over during the night. It's a little uncomfortable if you roll onto your back, gently encouraging you to stay on your side without waking you up. For extra support, try elevating the head of your bed by 4 to 6 inches. You don't need an expensive adjustable bed. Just place a few books or blocks under the head and legs of your bed frame. This slight incline helps keep your airway more open. These simple changes reduce nighttime wake-ups by 45% in a Mayo Clinic study with seniors. Frank adopted side sleeping with an elevated head position and saw his wake-ups decrease from nightly to just twice a week. Better breathing will help tremendously with those 3 a.m. wake-ups, but there's one final factor in your bedroom that often gets overlooked. And the best part? You can adjust it tonight before you go to bed. 4. Body temperature and sleep environment. The fourth and final reason for those middle-of-the-night wake-ups has to do with your body's temperature regulation. As we age, our ability to maintain a stable body temperature decreases significantly. It's one of those changes nobody warns us about. The Sleep Foundation has fascinating research showing that our core body temperature naturally drops to its lowest point between 2 and 4 a.m. This cooling process is actually crucial for deep, restorative sleep. It's like your body's way of powering down the engine to save energy while you rest. For those of us over 65, this temperature drop can be more pronounced and sudden than when we were younger. This can actually trigger a wake-up response as our body tries to adjust. But here's where many of us make a mistake. We keep our bedrooms too warm. I used to do this too. I'd feel chilly getting into bed, so I'd crank up the heat, only to wake up sweating at 3 a.m. Studies show that even a 2-degree difference in room temperature can reduce deep sleep by up to 35% in people over 65. That's more than a third of our most healing sleep gone because our room is a bit too toasty. But temperature isn't the only environmental factor. As we age, our eyes become more sensitive to light at night, especially the blue light from digital clocks, TVs, and phones. Even that tiny blinking light on your cable box or the glow from your alarm clock can signal your brain that it's time to wake up. Our brains also become more sensitive to noise as we age. You might not fully wake up, but the hum of the refrigerator, air purifier, or humidifier can disrupt your deep sleep and trigger those 3 a.m. awakenings. I never realized how many little noises were in my bedroom until I really started paying attention. That dripping faucet? It might as well be a drum solo at 3 a.m. Let me tell you about Grace. She's 78 and was having terrible trouble with waking up at exactly 3 a.m. every night. When I visited her home, I noticed her bedroom was quite warm because she felt cold when getting into bed. I can't stand being cold when I first go to bed, she told me, so I keep it nice and warm. But Grace would wake up at 3 a.m. feeling uncomfortably hot and sweaty. What's more, Grace had a digital clock with bright blue numbers facing her bed. Her phone occasionally buzzed with late-night notifications from her grandchildren in different time zones. And her bedroom windows lacked blackout curtains, allowing streetlights to filter in. All these factors created the perfect storm for sleep disruption. But I've always slept this way, Grace protested when I suggested changes. Like many of us, she was resistant to changing habits of a lifetime. But when her doctor mentioned that poor sleep was affecting her heart health, she decided to give my suggestions a try. Solution. The solution might seem counterintuitive, but it works wonders. Keep your bedroom cooler than you think you need. Between 65 to 68 degrees Celsius, 18 to 10 is ideal. I know that sounds chilly, but here's the trick I use myself. Use warm, lightweight blankets that you can easily remove during the night. I start with an extra layer when going to bed so I feel cozy, then simply push it aside if I get too warm. Grace was skeptical, but willing to try. She added a programmable thermostat that automatically dropped the temperature by 3 degrees at 1 a.m. The results? She began sleeping through the night within a week. I can't believe something so simple made such a difference, she told me. She also made a few other simple changes that anyone can do. She invested in inexpensive blackout curtains, you can find them for under $30, removed the digital clock from her bedside, replacing it with a small analog one, and started putting her phone on airplane mode at night. For those sensitive to noise, a white noise machine or even a simple fan can make a tremendous difference. I use a free white noise app on my old phone that works perfectly. No need for fancy equipment. One last thing that helped Grace: a good supportive mattress and pillows that suit your sleeping style. If your mattress is over 8 years old, it might be time for a replacement. Even adding a quality mattress topper around $50 to $100 can significantly reduce nighttime wake-ups caused by discomfort. Grace added a gel memory foam topper to her older mattress and said it was like sleeping on a cloud without having to buy a whole new mattress. We've covered 4 major factors that cause those 3 a.m. wake-ups in our senior years, from hormone imbalances and liver function to breathing issues and your sleep environment. Each of these factors becomes more significant as we age, but the good news is that each one has simple, practical solutions that don't require expensive treatments or prescriptions. I used to think that broken sleep was just an inevitable part of getting older. But after researching this topic and trying these solutions myself, it improved significantly. Our bodies aren't failing us. They're communicating with us. Those 3 a.m. wake-ups aren't just annoying interruptions, they're important signals about your health. By listening to these signals and making these 4 simple adjustments, you can transform your sleep and boost your overall health in ways you might not have thought possible. If you found this information helpful, please hit the like button so more folks our age can discover these solutions. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more science-backed health advice specifically designed for those of us over 60. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which of these 4 factors do you think might be affecting your sleep? Or have you tried any of these solutions already? Your experiences could be incredibly valuable to others in our community who are facing the same challenges. Remember, a good night's sleep isn't a luxury. It's essential for your health, happiness, and quality of life at any age. Until next time, here's to sleeping soundly through the night and waking up feeling truly refreshed. Sweet dreams, my friends.